if I had a very good concert, people were like, yeah, he is Vasant Raoji's grandson. He has to sing like that. And if I, was not that good, then people, my God, Vasant Raoji's grandson, you're not able to sing. So, I come from a musical family. My grandfather was an Indian classical singer, Dr. Rahul Deshpande. But I was very young when he passed away. I was 3.5. And my father didn't sing. So, my grandfather wanted me to, pursue music. So, my initial training started at the age of 6. Under the guidance of Pandit Gangadhar Bua Pempal Khareji. And that was the time when I believe I was not too interested in classical music. The Aau, the Alap, and when I started to learn under his guidance, he was already 78. So, it was a little difficult for me to, identify myself with that kind of singing. I was in an English medium school where all my friends used to listen to Michael Jackson, all the popular songs that were there. And for 6 years, I tried to learn this, classical. And after 6 years, my parents thought that they should not force me. So there was a 2-year gap before I started to learn again. And this very celebrated and an amazing vocalist called Pandit Kumar Gandharva.
Yeah.
You've heard of course. Yeah. So he was very close to my grandfather, and he passed away in 1992. And my father went there to Devas, where he used to stay. And when he came back, he got me 2 cassettes of his music. And I happened to listen to one of them, and there was this Nirguni Bhajan, of Sant Kabir. And when I listened to it, I don't know what happened to me. Something changed inside, and I wanted to sound like him. I wanted to sing like him. My music started with Kumarji. It ended with Kumarji. And the influence was so strong that none of the other singers were actually, they didn't mean anything to me apart from Kumarji. And I started my training under the guidance of Srimati Ushatai Chipalkatti ji for 6 years. And then Pandit Mukul Shivpatra, who is Kumarji's son. And I think that was the most amazing, beautiful, incredible musical time that I ever had. And he started with his way of teaching was so unconventional. So he's like a fakir, you know what a fakir is, right? So he used to take me out on the road. He used to, like we are right now here, used to sit and used to start to sing, and he used to tell me to follow him. And I think that gave me, a lot of understanding of his perspective. And also, generally, I started communicating with the abstract in music. And I think that is his major contribution in my life musically. And of course, as I was learning classical, I was also interested in film music. I was also interested in the lighter forms of the classical, which semi-classical music, like Natya Sangeet in Marathi, Abhangs in Marathi, or Ghazals in Hindi, Urdu. So I was doing all of that stuff. So this is how my initial training and introduction to music is.
And I'm just curious, like your parents were not musicians.
No.
And that obviously, like, your grandfather is a big legacy to inherit.
Yeah.
How did it feel, like, having that behind you? Was that inhibiting sometimes, or did it, like,
it was
inspiring?
In a way, but see, since I lost him at a very, very early age, I didn't have that baggage upon me. But when I started to perform, publicly, then I started to understand the gravity of his name, his legacy, and actually it did not bother me as much. But if I had a very good concert, people were like, yeah, he is Vasant Raoji's grandson, he has to sing like that. And if I maybe was not that good, then people, my God, Vasant Raoji's grandson, you're not able to sing. So that happened a little, and I had to struggle for that. But I never put that pressure on me ever. So I used to sing what felt right to me. I used to explore what I felt musically is right. And I never shied away from making mistakes. Because if you sing in that safe zone, you know what I mean, right? So the compositions, how it is going to go up and down, where you are going to stay. It doesn't mean anything, it's like doing that thing over and over again, and it becomes very meaningless to me. So if you have to discover something, then you have to make a mistake in order to discover something. And so I never shied away from doing that. But I believe in making new mistakes every time whenever I sing, and I just throw myself into the unknown, and I know that I'm going to fall into a very beautiful place musically. So that has been my process. Approaching a composition, approaching a bandish.
No, it's an amazing paradox that you have to like risk something in order to actually. It's like I was thinking about like swimming. Like when you're swimming, if you tense up or you get afraid of how deep it is, then you're going down. And it's the same. Like you have to kind of just relax, and then you can swim.
So true.
No, I mean, I was just wondering how you went about learning your grandfather's music, or how it influenced your music afterwards.
Well, I listened to a lot of his music. I had a few of his cassettes, and I got a lot from his students. And as I told you, I never wanted to sing his songs initially. As I told you, I was completely under the influence of Kumarji's music. But our voices were very similar. So there was this TV program which used to come on an Indian channel, and I was in my college, and they asked me to sing a few of his songs, my grandfather's songs. And till that, I had never sung his songs. And then I did a few of his songs, and when the program aired, a lot of people started calling my parents that he's sounding like Vasant Raoji, must be related to him. So that's when I understood that, there is some similarity between our voices. And that's the time when I started to actually listen to his music and try to understand what his music is. It took me a long time to actually, decipher what his thought process was. So it's very, very interesting and very challenging, because if you have heard my grandfather, it comes across as very, very natural and very easy to, listen to. But when you actually try and get into it, it is so difficult and so complicated. So, I would like to ask you about your journey.
Sure.
As a musician, and then the transition to Indian music.
Well, so I also come from a musical family. My dad's a composer.
Oh, so nice.
And he's also a musician. I mean, plays an instrument. He plays the lute, which is like a very ancient European instrument. Kind of like the oud in Arabic music. And so he started me out same age, 6, on violin.
Right.
And I was good at it, kind of.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, and the reason, I'll back up a little bit. The reason I got into the violin is my older sister was playing violin.
Okay.
And So she'd been learning for some time, and I started learning violin in the Suzuki method. And then what happened was, one, I didn't like it that much, but I did have a good ear, and I was kind of good at it. One day, my sister was practicing Bach concerto.
Okay.
And I was a very annoying little brother, and I used to copy everything she did. So I heard it, and because I had good ear, I started learning whatever she was playing by ear. And my dad heard me doing it. I was playing, this somewhat, at least intermediate, not for a 6-year-old piece.
Right.
And I was playing it by ear. And so then my dad understood I had some talent for this. But my sister was very upset. And so to keep peace in the house, he switched me to cello. When I was 7.
I was about to ask how you shifted to cello.
So I was happier. It sounded better. And so then that was a very natural fit. Like cello, right away, it's like, I just, this makes sense for me.
Right, so nice. And how did you come about, learning Indian classical?
So I went all the way through up to music conservatory, like in Western music for cello. And then while I was at music conservatory, I was in Texas at Rice University, and the Indian community there was putting on concerts. They were getting big artists to come, and I started going to these concerts. It was funny too because it had nothing to do with the music school. They had no idea even that this was going on campus.
Okay.
So you had to search it out, But I would go and I'd check it out, and at that time, Ali Akbar Khan Sahab was still alive and performing, and that was, if I had to pinpoint a moment that hooked me on this, it was going to his concert.
Wow.
Because as you probably know, like Western classical music's, it's very fixed, right? Like we don't. In that tradition, I think a long time ago there used to be more improvisation, but now it's usually not so much.
Right.
And during that time, I was in orchestra rehearsals, and so you're like a little cog in a machine, and you have to play the same thing and match everybody.
That's right.
You don't feel super free.
Right.
And I saw Ali Akbar Khan Sahab play, and it was like the opposite of that in a good way. Yeah. Like I was.
I know what you mean.
It was clear they hadn't rehearsed, also in a good way. But it was like, wow, these guys they've done incredible practice at home, and they just got on stage, and it's a magical conversation. It's just invention, pure invention. And I was in love. Like I was just like, I have to learn how to do this.
Right.
And I didn't immediately just go find somebody to learn from. But I think I knew in that moment that it was going to be in my path. It would happen. It was just gonna happen at some point.
And what now you enjoy, because I enjoy listening to Western classical sometimes, but I don't understand the intricacies, so now that you have also learned Hindustani, what drives you to actually go to Hindustani music? Just the improvisation, and what is it that attracts you to that?
That's a good question. I mean, both kinds of music, it's actually impossible to speak of them as one thing, right? As you know, there are many ways of playing. There are different gatus, there's subgenres, and the same is true in Western music.
Yeah.
But there is an aesthetic or a approach to music that I think is quite different. It's a little hard to pinpoint, actually, but I think part of it may go back to the thing that we were talking about earlier about just sort of relaxing into music. Fundamentally, I think Hindustani music does come from this space of, any music really does. To do it well, you have to relax into it. But I think there's something about even just the idea of what music is in Indian music that, and correct me if I'm wrong, but I feel like there's an idea of music in Indian music that it's actually outside of us.
Yeah.
That it's something that we tap into. It's not something individualistic that we've created on our own.
Yeah.
And also that we stand on the shoulders of everybody behind us too. And there's something really beautiful to me about that.
Yeah.
That we swim in an ocean of raga, right? It's not that we've invented this ourselves or it's not an ego exercise at all. It's
not at all.
Sort of the opposite of that.
Yeah, actually, it's very spiritual in that way.
And I think that was maybe the main attraction for me and continues to be. And that's evolved too. I think maybe my idea of what that was superficial at first. And I think as maybe for a lot of Westerners who are attracted to the music, the idea of how spirituality comes into it might be a bit, I don't know, it's just on the surface at first. And then the more you do it, the more you understand through riyaz, really, what that means. And
so for us, I think, since I have not learned Western classical, we call it sadhana. I don't call it practice.
Right.
So we've been taught from very young age to surrender yourself to your guru and the sur.
Yeah.
It's very important. And that, this very interesting thing that my guru Shatai used to tell me when we used to do this together. She used to tell me, Rahul, there has to be a lot of love in your sur. Whenever you sing, it has to come out of love.
Yeah.
I didn't understand I tried many different ways. Is this working? No. But it's called an anubhuti, It's an experience that you have to take, which comes to you when in this process of sadhana.
Yeah.
So you do that over and over and over. As you said, it's like an ocean. And however deeper you swim, deep you go. So that you can never reach the bottom.
Yeah.
It's like that. And that is very interesting when you start to enjoy your sadhana, enjoy your riyaz. Initially, it's very, as you said, the bowing. It's very, until you get the sur right.
Yeah.
So it used to be very boring for me. And that time I used to sit with my tanpura, because we didn't have, thank God we didn't have those electronic things, because it's noise. It's not the acoustic thing. It actually speaks to you.
Yeah.
So I used to sit with my tanpura 4 o'clock in the morning, and as to challenge myself. Initially, as I said, it used to be very, very, very boring. So doing the same sur, like the akar, the different pronunciations of different surs. And after a while, like I think 2-3 years, it started to get interesting. And then it's like meditation actually.
Yeah.
Because when I was learning, I was taught pranayama. So before I used to sit for my riyaz, I used to do this regime where I used to do the pranayama and everything. And then, as I told you, something used to speak to me, and then I used to forget everything else, whatever is going on. And then I used to power on to 8 hours. Every day I used to do 8 hours. And then some days I used to try to, do 9, 10.
Wow.
And the maximum I did was 14 hours.
Oh my God.
And it was just before, you get carried away.
Yeah. Then you go into a trance.
And I had a concert the next day.
Yeah.
I was so tired the next day. So, that's what is very interesting about Indian music.
So, playing Western music, there's a real satisfaction in it too, to be able to enjoy harmonic music.
Absolutely.
And I grew up in it. So, it's like, this is, in fact, my fluent native language.
Yes.
And that's something. Sometimes I have regrets that I'm like, man, if I'd started Hindustani music when I started Western music, I was telling Rahul, I'm like, man, and Rahul, he sounds so relaxed. Like someday, if I'd started when I was 6, I would have that ease, And someday I'll, I'm still working on it. But I'm,
whenever I've listened to a lot of analog recordings of these concertos and symphonies.
Yeah.
Something happens. I don't know what, but it soothes you. It is powerful, and that speaks to me differently because since I don't understand the grammar out of it, but what I love about it is there's so many people coming together.
Yeah.
And each and every person has to do his job, for it to sound.
It's a team effort.
Yeah.
Right. And that's also totally different.
That is what I love, actually.
Yeah.
So in classical music, if you just have two tanpuras and two people sitting with you, you're done.
Yeah.
But as you said, I enjoy this more, the team thing, because I've not done that so much.
Yeah.
But I would love to understand. I would love to learn.
Yeah.
That approach.
It's just listening. But it is something that, I mean, from the time when I was reacting against it and was attracted to Indian music, now I sometimes play with orchestras and I've come to love it again, actually. Like this thing of, because it's also surrender. Like you have to be egoless to do that. There's a guy up front telling you what to do. Yeah. So you're like, okay, I trust you.
Yeah.
You're going to take us on the journey. I'm going to trust this guy. And then you're trying to melt your sound into everyone else's sound, match articulation, match, so that you are one.
Correct.
And that's
so cool.
It's pretty awesome, actually. It's, I mean, any music, I think when it's really working right, you go outside of yourself a little bit.
Yeah.
Then it's almost like watching from outside. It's happening.
So well put. Yeah, absolutely.
And this can definitely be like that. Playing chamber music or playing orchestral music.
Yeah.
You start hearing from the perspective outside of your own instrument, the whole thing.
Yeah.
Which is just, there's nothing like it.
Amazing. Yeah.
It's uplifting. It's transcendent.
Yeah.
You had to learn a little bit, right? This type of stuff for Me Vasantrao. You did like some.
Well, I have been doing Marathi musicals like for 10 years. I did that. And after that, I did 2 films.
Yeah.
One was Me Vasantrao and one more Amalta.
Actually, that's what I was going to ask. Was did doing? I mean, there's obviously a tradition of Marathi musicals, and did that spark your interest in acting? In film and acting?
Yes, it did. But I wanted to do this biopic on my grandfather, and the director that I worked with, he's done 3 of my plays. So I asked him, who should we cast? And he said, Dada, you have to do it.
Yeah.
I said, if you think I can do it, I'll try. And as I said yesterday in my concert, my grandfather used to say that there are 3 dimensions to music. One is the sur, second one is the lay, and third one is the abhinay, which is very important.
Yeah.
And it absolutely enriched me as a musician and as a human being. All these experiences that I have, be it acting, be doing my collective, where I absolutely explored these Hindi, Marathi, ghazals, whatever songs that I choose from. And they come to me like a bandish or like a tumri, and then we have a dialogue between us. And that is what is interesting. I've also done a new ghazal EP where I've composed 5 ghazals. I'm doing work for Vishal Bharadwaj. He's a celebrated, Indian director of films. So,
I mean, it's also a question I wanted to ask you about was just how do you envision Indian classical music evolving? Because I guess it must.
I think it has evolved.
Yeah.
Since its inception from the Ved Kal, so the kind of classical music which used to be there 100, 200 years ago, it's not like that.
Yeah.
So it is evolving. And the performance time has become shorter, right? But the essence remains the same. So I think the essence will never change.
Yeah.
But it will evolve. And what I like, I don't like to think about the future. I always think about my music in the present. I don't like to listen to my recordings. I don't know what I sang yesterday.
Yeah.
I don't want to remember what I sang yesterday. My music is what I do right now. So, yeah, I think there's so many good, talented musicians in India who are doing this very seriously. So the future is solid.
Yeah. Do you think that, I mean, sometimes I listen to old recordings and I get sad for something that, same actually in Western music too. There's something that I feel is not, that we've lost touch with a little bit.
Yeah.
Sometimes I feel this. In both traditions. And maybe it's a time thing. I mean, you're talking about the shorter.
Yeah.
I mean, modern life is crazy and attention spans are short. It's in our stupid phones. You know.
Even I'm addicted to it.
Of course. We all are.
Whenever I get up, I have to see who has messaged me.
I'm saying, first thing, it's awful.
It is.
Yeah. I mean, they've got us by the brain. But I mean, I hear these things in the music too, and in Western music too, like these sort of, it's not all the, I mean, sometimes it's not everybody, but you know, sometimes you'll hear a concert that goes deeper than that.
Yeah.
But I feel like it's not the standard, and it used to be maybe, that there was
I completely agree with you. Absolutely.
Lost.
Yeah. I think it is also to do with, as you said, there's so many things going on in our lives. It has become so fast. Unfortunately, I don't know why, but all of us are, entangled into that circle where you're not able to get out of it.
Yeah.
So, when I do absolutely the pure classical thing, I let go of everything else. Yeah. And I also believe that, the pure classical has always been for a certain class. It's not for everyone, because you need to understand what is going on.
Yeah.
For that, you need to invest a little in, understanding the music, understanding what is going on.
Yeah.
So that number is also, it has always been restricted to a class, and it still is.
Yeah.
But as musicians, as you are, exploring, that's what I am trying to explore. I'm not trying to put classical music out, or I'm not trying to make an effort to establish classical in a different form. It's what, as a person, I want to do. I want to explore something, which I find interesting, which makes meaning to me, which I find appealing. And then, as I don't want to start, a revolution where I take classical music to some other thing. It's just
part of your
very
process.
safe. Yeah.
Understand.
Yeah.
In India, with families who have music in them, the way that they've trained, that it's sort of like something that gets passed on.
Yeah.
From generation to generation. There's something very beautiful about that, and I would love to pass that to my son, but I also don't want to ruin music for him in the process. So it's delicate,
No, but I think it will happen in the due course. Yeah.
Thanks to Jake Charkey and Rahul Deshpande for doing a walk with Rahul Deshpande today with us. And thanks to the authorities at the New York Central Park for such a great environment over here that we could shoot this episode. Don't forget to like, share and subscribe our channel at Parashare. Thank you so much.